morning, everybody. I'm just having a little adjustment here as I've just turned the video on. I've noticed that they're a little bit far away. How are you? It's Beks Thompson here from Be a Beacon. I'm looking a little studious this morning with my sunglasses, reflecting a bit of light, so hopefully you can see me. A beautiful, windy Monday morning, but lovely and sunny up here on the Sunshine Coast on Bribie Island. And this is a live video, so we'll just give a little bit of time. Let me know if you're having a morning break and you're catching this live, or say hi to me if you're catching this later, maybe at lunch break or in the evening. I'll come back and check later for any comments or anything that you'd like to share. So this morning, I would love to talk about one of the primary things that as human beings, and especially as women, but really across the board, we all need. But often we end up denying ourselves that one thing that we need because no one tells us how to behave, or how to really receive what we need. And the one thing that we all need, and it's not love, you might think it's love, it's actually acknowledgement. Acknowledgement. We all need some kind of acknowledgement. And the reason that I'm putting this above love is that tied up in acknowledgement are three other basic human needs. And they are a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, and love. Because if someone is giving you acknowledgement and appreciations, then you are getting that sense of feeling loved. You are getting that sense of feeling belonging to something bigger than yourself. Yeah? And you are getting that sense of you've created a purpose. You've done something that was acknowledged. So there was a purpose behind what you were doing. So you're already ticking those boxes. But one of the thing that happens with acknowledgement is that we need acknowledgement. Right? We need it. And if that need becomes the driving force, then we can be projecting that need. And have a think about it. Do you have a partner or someone in your family or maybe a friend where you very much get that sense of neediness? And the one thing that they want or they need is acknowledgement. And that's the one thing that you're kind of not wanting to give them because you can feel that sense of neediness. And it's quite repelling, isn't it? It's quite repelling. So what do you need to do if you need acknowledgement? You can't sort of quite show that you need it, right? We want to become more magnetic so that we draw that acknowledgement towards us. Otherwise, in the needing of that acknowledgement, we're actually going to push people away. So have a feel whether there is something in your work or in your social life or in your, often it's our close partners, where this dynamic is playing out, where you find you often need something and you don't get it. And it might be the cause of a little confrontation or a little bit of friction in that relationship. Because there are certain things we must do in order to receive the acknowledgement that we want, to be more magnetic. Now the first thing is that we have to be more in our body to feel where that need is coming from. When that need is a more projecting need, it's just from the heart and it can be a little clingy, then someone feels that and feels pushed away. But if that need is coming from deeper in your body, and in the work that I do with women, it's womb space, and for men it's their center, it's low down a little bit further back into the pelvis. When we can hold ourselves in our body and get a sense of sitting back in our body, a couple of things happen. We find we're able to communicate what our needs are much more effectively because this is a feeling center for us. So rather than it being head-based, we can communicate what we feel. Just energetically, by being more back in our body, other people feel that too, yeah? And they don't feel that sense of neediness. What it does is it creates a sense of you holding responsibility for yourself and how you feel, rather than the expectation that someone else has to fulfill that need for you. So there's an element of you acknowledging that need and fulfilling your own needs. by coming back into your body. And the funny thing is, as soon as you acknowledge yourself and appreciate yourself more, others start acknowledging and appreciating you. So it kind of has to begin at home, and there are lots of ways in the work that I do that we bring this, that we lay the fertile soil, if you like, for self-acknowledgement, for self-appreciation. And once we can really own what we truly need and own our own uniqueness and our own awesome skills and our own worth and our own sense of purpose, then we naturally get those appreciations flowing into us. So that's two things we've got. One is to be more in your body and sit literally feeling back in your body when you're noticing this projecting out and neediness. And the second thing is to give yourself acknowledgement and appreciations. Own what it is you need, not expect others to give it to you, and then you will actually receive it. The third thing is, if you want acknowledgement and appreciations, then you need to be spending more time acknowledging and appreciating others. And I notice that hugely in a family dynamic. Have a think, do you let little resentments and little needs kind of build up, and then all of a sudden you've got this great big need, this unfulfilled kind of desire in your connection in your family? How much are you acknowledging and appreciating what they do? For example, if it's your partner, how often do you say, wow, I really appreciate, how you just do so many jobs around the house without, me mentioning them or complaining, and it really makes me feel so supported and held and safe. I love that about you, your masculinity. How much do we give really heartfelt appreciations? Because as soon as you sit back and take the time to really appreciate others on a profound, very authentic level, then you will start to receive those appreciations back. So that's a third thing, is giving acknowledgements and appreciations in a very genuine way. And the other thing is the environment. Do you surround yourself in an environment that is supportive, that gives you feedback, that gives you appreciations? Because often it's something that we don't do as a society. There can be jealousies, there can be judgment, there can be competition, in the workplace or even in friends and in family. And it can be this sense of, tall poppy syndrome if you're doing really well. And you might not necessarily get the appreciations and acknowledgement that you deserve because of your environment. And this is so important, that your environment needs to support you. If you're on a path where you want to continue to grow, it's okay to receive acknowledgement and appreciations. And we need to lift up our environment to create that and give us opportunities, not only to give acknowledgement and appreciations, but to be, not to give them, but to be given them, and to learn how to receive them. Because how often do you also brush off an acknowledgement or brush off an appreciation, even if it's around your clothes, or around your hair, or around your new car or your job, and you just brush it off and go, oh yeah. Because it can be hard to actually receive an appreciation. So these are just some of the things that we need to address in order to feel more connected with others and to fill up our self-worth, fill up our acknowledgement bucket. So let's just run through those quickly again. What the main thing is that we need acknowledgement, and those three subheadings of that are that when we get acknowledgement, we feel a sense of belonging, we feel that we have some purpose in the world, and we feel loved because we've received that acknowledgement. But we often self-sabotage, there's that word again, this acknowledgement by being over needy. So number one, we need to be back in our body more and notice when we are coming out of our body and we're projecting that need on others and expecting them to feel it. We need to be back in our body. And that leads on to the second thing of having acknowledgement for yourself and appreciations for yourself and realizing really what is underneath that need. When we do that, when we acknowledge and appreciate ourselves, we are more magnetic to other people's appreciations and acknowledgements. The third thing is that we need to really own that and be responsible for how we feel. Not blame others. We need to give more appreciations to others and acknowledgement to others if we want to receive the same. And it needs to be genuine and heartfelt. And we need to make sure our environment is supporting us in a way that gives us an opportunity to practice giving appreciations and acknowledgement, and to practice receiving them. Because like I say, often we shrink away a little bit from that, or we push it to one side, we deflect. And so the next time someone goes to give you an acknowledgement, it's like, oh, well, they didn't sort of receive it well, and people hold back. Because when we get these acknowledgements, we feel so much more connected. When we feel connected, we have this sense of purpose and belonging. We have more courage to step out and be who we are. And so many women that I work with and that I meet are fearful or unsure of really who they are and their worth. And I think that is probably the number one thing that women struggle with, is their sense of self-worth. And so a lot of the work that I do on a physical level, on an emotional and a spiritual level, is helping women to really fill up this sense of self-worth and to dissolve all the past that is stopping them from being able to step forward into their fullest potential, because this sense of I'm not enough, or I'm not worthy, or I don't belong here, is what's holding them back. And so I have an amazing opportunity coming up in July for a small, contained, intimate group of women to really explore this journey with me. This is the first time that I've offered this extended retreat. It's a 4-day metamorphic, transformational goddess rising retreat for women who are really yearning for that sense of connection, who finally want to be free of the binds of their past, of things that are holding them back, who want to understand, not just on an intellectual level, of reading things in books or doing online courses, but in a truly embodied level, how to release this and how to take the wisdom of our past, how to connect more fully, how to live a more fully expressed life that is more abundant and more joyful. This is stuff that you can't get from reading a book. You can't get it online. You can't get it from staying, in your shell, in your house, in your room, and hoping that something's going to change. You need to step up and step into a commitment for yourself and put yourself in the right environment that is going to draw what you need to you. And this Goddess Rising Retreat is the most amazing, abundant, oasis-like environment, surrounded by top facilitators like myself, and just 2 other facilitators, one who is going to take us through some dance and art therapy combinations, and one that's going to hold space for us on a vibrational level through some drum and dance that is going to support the processes that I take you through. Like I say, this is an intimate, exclusive retreat where you will get a lot of one-on-one assistance, laser coaching, so you can understand exactly where you're at. And I always find with these types of retreats that there's such a beautiful connection made with the women who are on the same page and are all looking to get their goddess rising, get themselves out of this dull day-to-day into a more joyful life, into a more lustrous life, into a more abundant life, where they are living their unique selves, and to their fullest potential, nothing being held back. So if that sounds like something that you would like to immerse yourself in a very luscious environment, then check out the link that I'm putting on this today, and check out the other videos that I'm going to do this week, all around what we need to really get this goddess rising on an emotional level, so that you can sit with me and, and reflect how this works for you in your life. So have a great day. Let me know any of your thoughts around how you connect or don't connect, how you feel acknowledged or don't feel acknowledged. PM me if you have any more personal questions, and go check out the retreat and share it with other friends who you feel may be interested, because this only comes around once a year, and this is a brand new take on my Awakening the Power of the Feminine retreat. This is Goddess Rising. This is next level, and I would love you to join us. So check it out, and I'll see you later on in the week. Bye everyone.